Good evening guys, welcome back to another interesting video of Success Tracker. We all know that nowadays everyone is much enthusiastic in taking part of adventures. Trekking is the dominant on among the adventure activities in our country. We all love to spend holidays in hill stations. We are speaking about a troop who are at the zenith of trekking. The Mount Everest expedition, which we are bound to discuss, is a highly inspirational story to the youths and mountain passionates. So guys, let's get into that. Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay are the two names which saunters in our mind whenever we hear something related to mountaineering. Repeating the history, those two are the names to be inscribed as the conquerors of the world's highest peak. But only few of you may have heard the complete story of the expedition rather than memorizing the two names. Going through the story, we come across another duo who swayed by misfortune to be erased from the glorious history. So, those are the two men who first reached within 300 feet of the celebrated peak. So, come guys, let's speak to the journey of 1953. The first expedition meant to be the successful one was led by the Colonel John Hunt and was organized and financed by the Joint Himalayan Committee. Hunt, a British Army colonel, was serving on the staff at Supreme Headquarters Allied Powers Europe, and he received a surprising invitation by the Joint Himalayan Committee of the Alpine Club and the Royal Geographical Society to lead the British Everest expedition of 1953. He had started learning mountaineering skills from the early age of 10 and was used to climbing the Himalayas when working in British India. The election for the leader of expedition witnessed considerable arguments as Eric Shipton had a wide acceptance and the members including Edmund Hillary opposed Hunt being the leader. However, it is supposed that the committee had decided that Hunt's experience of military leadership together with his credentials as a climber would provide the best chance for the expedition to succeed. The British felt under particular pressure as the French had received permission to mount a similar expedition in 1954 and the Swiss another in 1955, meaning that the British would not have another chance at Everest until 1956 or later. So obviously the team must have a killer instinct. Initial training took place in Snowdonia in Wales during the winter. The Penigrid Hotel was used as a base camp, and the team furthered their mountaineering skills on the slopes of Snowdown and Glidero. The party departed for Nepal from Tilbury, England aboard the SS Rotterdam bound for Bombay on 12 February. Evans and Alfred Gregory had flown on ahead to Kathmandu on 20 February as the advance party. Hillary and Lowe approached Nepal from New Zealand, Lowe by sea and Hillary by air. They were received the British ambassador Christopher Summerhayes, and residence was arranged in the embassy itself due to absence of any hotel in Kathmandu. 20 Sherpas arrived in Kathmandu to help carry loads. They were led by Tenzing Norgay, who was attempting Everest for the sixth time. Tenzing Norgay was famed as the best known Sherpa climber and a mountaineer of world standing. Now, coming to the esteemed journey, Hunt planned for the 3 assaults of 2 climbers and each including a third and last attempt if necessary. The plan for the first 2 assaults had been announced by Hunt on 7th May. The technical plan usually worthless to mention, but in fact changed the whole history. The first assault party, composed of Tom Bodland and Charles Evans, using closed-circuit oxygen equipment, was to start from Camp 8 and aim to reach the south summit and if possible the summit. The second assault party, using open-circuit oxygen equipment, was to be the duo of Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay. The third assault party would have been Wilf Noyes and Mike Ward. The first of two climbing pairs previously selected by Hunt, Tom Budilon and Charles Evans, set out for the summit on 26 May. Before starting, Evans had a problem with a damaged valve in his oxygen set, which took over an hour to fix. But none of the company insisted to change the closed-circuit oxygen set. They started moving and successfully made the first ascent of 28,700 feet by 1 pm. This point comes within 100 meters of the final summit. They could see that between the south summit and the summit was a thin crust of snow and ice on rock, with a rock stub later to be known as Hillary Stub. They had climbed at the unprecedented rate of almost 1,000 feet per hour. At this point, just 300 feet from the peak, when they changed the soda lime canisters, Evans had another problem which Woodlawn cannot fix. Evans tried to keep going, but his breathing was painfully labored. They were forced to turn back at 1:20 pm. After becoming exhausted, defeated by problems with the closed-circuit oxygen sets and lack of time. Had it not been for the misfortune contained in the oxygen cylinder of Evans, history would have been celebrated entirely different names. The 300 feet coming immediately after the Hillary step struck out the names of Charles Evans and Tom Woodlawn from the numerous books to come. On 27 May, as planned by Hunt, the expedition made its second assault on the summit with the second climbing pair, the New Zealander Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay. They were using open-circuit oxygen sets. Norgay had previously ascended to a record high point on Everest as a member of the Swiss expedition of 1952. They left camp at 6:30 am, reached the south summit at 9 am. At 11:30 am on 29 May 1953, Mount Everest, the highest point on Earth, was conquered by human legs. Two men stood high on the peak with the glory of creating history. Before descending, they remained at the summit long enough to take photographs and to bury some sweets and a small cross in the snow. For a long period, it remained secret who among them two was the first to step on the peak. But very much later, Norgay announced that it was Edmund Hillary to first place foot on Mount Everest. Now we are sure that after watching this video completely, you guys will definitely recall two more names whenever you hear Mount Everest. Also, remember that failures do happen in life regardless of what caused the fault. We hear only the successful and inspirational stories, but the stories of failures will teach you how to handle that stuff. Behind every success story we hear, there are numerous people who had failed once at the penultimate step. Also keep in mind that neither Charles Evans nor Tom Budilon had either committed suicide or succumbed to depression, but rather they remorselessly joined for the next mountain expedition. Click the like button below if you like the video, and don't forget to subscribe the channel and press the bell icon for getting notification of our latest videos. Also share the video and add your valuable comments in the comment box. Thank you for supporting us.